Okay, so good day to everyone. Good morning, Tobalites, particular TLE EIM 10. So today we're going to discuss a lesson about electrical safety. And another purpose of our lesson for today is, aside from the content itself, is for you to hone your skills in reading. So to begin with, let us first discuss our objective for this lesson. So the first one, we have to identify what electrical safety is. Next, differentiate hazard and risk. The next one, familiarize with the different kinds of hazards or types of hazards. Then the next one, we have to trace the origin of 5Ss. Next, familiarize with 5S and its meaning. Then we have to value the importance of 5S. And lastly, we're going to recall what a noun is. Now, and before we proceed to our main lesson, let us first discuss the vocabulary words for you to easily understand the different words that we are going to encounter. The first word is safety, which is a verb, meaning the condition of being protected from or unlikely to cause danger, risk, or injury. The second one, we have adopted, which means choose to take up, follow, or use. In a sentence, this approach has been adopted by many big banks. The third, we have risk, which is a verb also, which means a situation involving exposure to danger. Floating the law was too much at risk. The fourth one is protocols, which means the official procedure or system of rules governing affairs of state or diplomatic occasion. We're going to use it in a sentence. In our office, there are safety protocols to be followed before going inside. And lastly, hazard, which is a noun meaning a danger or risk. Example, the hazard of smoking should not be taken for granted. So now let's proceed. So it's all about, again, electrical safety. Let us first discuss or define what electrical safety is. So electrical safety is a system of organizational measures and technical means to prevent harmful and dangerous effects on workers from electric current, arcing, electromagnetic fields, and static electricity. Electrically powered equipment can pose a significant hazard to workers, particularly when mishandled or not maintained. Many electrical devices have high voltage or high power requirements, carrying even more risk. So when we are referring to electrical safety, it's all about, also from the words of electrical, meaning it's all about electricity, and safety, which means kaligtasan. So a system of organizational measures, which our main objective here is to protect an individual from being harmed or being in danger. Kasi when we are referring to electricity, it is very lethal, or electricity per se is very lethal. It is nakakamatay. Then the next one is the risk. So ano nga ba yung risk? So risk is a probability or threat of damage, injury, liability, loss, or any negative occurrence that is caused by external and internal vulnerables and that may be avoided through preemptive action. So risk are those panganib, wala sinabi natin as risk, or it is the possibility, ano yung chances na ikaw ay aksidente. That is what we call risk, chances, or the possibility. The next one, we have the hazard. Hazard is an agent that can cause harm or damage to human property or environment. Risk is defined as the probability that exposure to a hazard will lead to a negative consequence, or more simply, a hazard poses no risk if there is no exposure to that hazard. Meaning to say, when we're referring to hazard, kung kanina sabi natin, risk is the chance or probability or possibility that you are being harmed. So this time, it is an agent or any situations that can cause you harm. That is what we call hazard. So it is either in the environment, in the workplace, or some similar places. So that is hazard. Okay, so these are the different types of hazard. So something which has the potential to cause harm is what we call again as hazard. Okay, so types of hazard. So I will give you 5 minutes to read the reading selection, different types of hazard. Okay, so as I told you, you have also the e-mold. So provided you a hard copy of what we are going to discuss, so the content of the lesson itself was included in your e-mold. So you can post once medyo mabilis yung ating discussion or yung pinagpubasa nyo, so you can post this video. Now let us proceed. So let us try to determine your understanding of what you have read. So read the statement carefully and answer what is being asked. Select your answer from the choices provided. So the first one, what is the topic or lesson all about? Is it A, electrical safety, B, electrical layout, C, electrical installation, or D, electrical wiring? Okay, next, number 2. In a factory, a worker was exposed to electrician varnish and was suffocated. This scenario fall under what type of hazard? Is it A, ergonomic, B, chemical, C, physical, D, biological? Next, number 3. Mang Efren works in a well-known bank as a security guard and stand for about 8 hours a day. What could be the possible health hazard Mang Efren may experience? Is it A, ergonomic, B, chemical, C, physical, D, biological? Next, number 4. Based on the lecture provided, how many types of hazard we have? Is it A, 5, B, 6, C, 7, or D, 8? Next, number 5. It is defined as any agent that causes harm or damage to human property or the environment. Is it A, risk, B, safety, C, hazard, D, protocol? Next, number 6. These are physical conditions that may cause risk or injury to the musculoskeletal system, such as the muscles or ligaments of the lower back, tendons, or nerves of the hands, wrists, or bones surrounding the knees. Is it A, ergonomic, B, chemical, C, physical, D, biological? Next, number 7. Why do you think electrical safety is important? So, bakit daw mahalaga yung ating electrical safety? Is it A, because it will greatly affect our way of work? B, because it provides a clear view of what will happen? C, because nothing will change? And D, because it will protect us and will secure that our work will be safe. Next, number 8. A probability or threat of damage, injury, liability, loss, or any negative occurrence that is caused by external or internal vulnerables and that may have been avoided through preemptive action. Is it A, risk, B, safety, C, hazard, and D, protocol? Number 9. This hazard affects the physiological, or rather psychological, well-being of workers, including their ability to participate in a work environment among other people. Is it A, psychological, B, chemical, C, physical, D, biological? And lastly, number 10. Falling debris in a construction site is an example of what type of hazard? Is it A, ergonomic, B, chemical, C, physical, D, biological? Okay, so next. Now, let us proceed with the part 2 of your lesson, or of our lesson. Let us first discuss the vocabulary words. The first one, we have uncluttered. It is an adjective which means not having or impeded by too many objects, details, or elements. If we're going to use it in sentence, the room were plain and uncluttered. Next word, we have lean. It is a verb meaning a deviation from the perpendicular, an inclination. The vehicle has a definite lean to the left. Next, we have morale, which is a noun, which means the confidence, enthusiasm, and discipline of a person or group of a particular time. If we're going to use it in sentence, their morale was high. Next, the word is optimize, which is a verb, which means make the best of, or most effective use of a situation, opportunity, or resources. If we're going to use it in sentence, to optimize viewing condition, the microscope should be correctly adjusted. And lastly, the word is enterprise, which is also a noun, which means a project or undertaking, typically one that is difficult or requires effort. Example, a joint enterprise between French and Japanese company. Okay, so what you have seen, it is quoted here in a saying, safety starts with S but begins with U. Okay, let us elaborate that. So now you're not going to read it literally or word for word, but rather, since the word itself is safety, though it starts with S, but it is a saying or a quotation, so safety first, or usually nakikita nyo, sabi is safety first, or saan ba nag-uumpisa commonly ang safety, saan dapat? So it should be begins with you. So, sa sarili ninyo, mag-uumpisa yung safety. Okay. So, for our next reading selection, so you're going to read the selection, and later you're going to answer the follow-up questions. Okay, I will give you also 5 minutes for you to read the selection. Okay, next. So we have here the given 5 S's: Seisuke, Seri, Seiton, Seisu, and Seketsu. So, Setsuke stands for sustain. Service for sorting. Seiton is set in order. Seketsu is standardized. And Seisu, shine. Let us further elaborate that. 5Ss. You may read. Okay, next. These are the additional explanation about the 5Ss. So, kindly read. Okay, so if you're done, let us now proceed with the comprehension check. Okay, once again, prepare a sheet of paper and answer the following question. Okay, let's start. Number 1, from what country the 5Ss adopted? Is it A, China, B, Japan, C, USA, D, Germany? Number 2, what is the topic or lesson all about? Is it A, 4 ways of housekeeping, B, the 5Ss, C, 3 methods of cleanliness or to cleanliness, D, electrical wiring? Number 3, this best describe the process of identifying items for keps and items for waste basket. Is it A, Shetsuke, B, Seiketsu, C, Seiton, and D, Seri? Number 4, when is the time wherein you should set a high standard of housekeeping in the workplace? Is it A, Shetsuke, B, Seiketsu, C, Seiton, and D, Seiso? Number 5, the benefits that can be derived from implementing 5Ss are as follows except. Is it A, improve safety, B, reduce costs, C, improve employee morale, D, lower defect rates? Next, number 6, being clean and neat best described as. Is it A, Shetsuke, B, Seiketsu, C, Seiton, D, Seiso? Number 7, a safer work environment means you always observe 5Ss. This statement is it A, true, B, opinion, C, false, D, all of the choices? Number 8, why do you think observing 5Ss is in the workplace important? Is it A, because it will greatly affect our way of work, B, because it provides a clear view of what will happen, C, because nothing will change, and D, because it will protect us and will secure that our work will be safe? Next, number 9, during laboratory works, Miguel always keep the tools in proper place after he use. Among those 5Ss, what do you think Miguel demonstrated? Is it A, Shetsuke, B, Seiketsu, C, Seiton, D, Seri? And lastly, number 10, among the following statement below, which one best describe 5Ss? Is it A, to neatly arrange, B, schedule regular cleaning and maintenance, C, daily to maintain a workplace in perfect condition, D, all of the above? Okay, so those two comprehension check, so you're going to pass it by Friday. So I will going to check that to determine your understanding about our lesson. So, more or less, makakasama siya sa ating pagpapasa ng module. Okay? Before we end this lesson or this discussion, let me give you a quotation. Once you learn to read, you will be forever free. So, sabi nga natin, more or less is somewhat masasabi natin kaparehas nung education is the key to success. So, that was by Frederick Douglass. So, once again, Tobalites, good day and thank you.